we went into the homes of ordinary people to talk to them about what's gone wrong in their past relationships. We've changed their names to protect their identity. Blodwyn is a 42-year-old shop assistant from Droitwich. She's been married 3 times, and we started by asking her what the factors were that led to her first marriage coming to an end.
It was partially his emotional unavailability, baggage he brought to the relationship, an inability to negotiate or compromise. But I think the thing that really did it was when he crapped in my hairdryer.
You bitch. You did what?
I know. I had no idea. So I just turned the thing on one day and whoosh. It was really inconvenient.
What was it that brought your second marriage to an end?
Embarrassment and shame.
About what?
Well, he was constantly making up catchphrases which he would use all the time. You know, when we're out, when we're visiting friends, or when having a nice meal.
Can you remember any of them?
Call blimey, where's my flannel?
Yep.
Is that an aubergine I see before me? Ask me if I'm a farmer. Can you do me a favour? Instead of can you do me a favour?
Right.
I'm not the weatherman, I'm the whenever man.
Oh dear.
Fancy going halves on a bastard? Mine's a pint of Horlicks and Tramadol.
Even if your partner's behaviour is relatively normal, there are certain things that put pressure on all relationships. This is Obadiah. He's a freelance vegetable tuner from the Outer Hebrides. He's been divorced twice. What was at the heart of the breakdown of your second marriage?
It came down to money, really. That's what all the rows were about.
Right. That's actually the most common cause of arguments in relationships.
Well, all our money went on her collection.
Oh, what did she collect?
Celebrity toenail clippings.
Okay. So did she have any famous ones?
Oh yeah, Lionel Blair, Lulu, Charles de Gaulle, all the big names.
If one half of a couple becomes overly preoccupied with a pastime or a hobby, this can put tremendous strain on the other person. Our next contributor, we'll call her Beryl, was so affected by her experience she can only talk about it via a monkey puppet who she refers to as Frankie Fuznuts. So I understand that your first marriage came to an end after quite a short time. What were the key factors in the ending of that relationship?
Well, his hobby took over. It just got too much for me. We weren't spending any time together.
And what was his hobby?
Inverted dressing.
What's that?
Well, he'd sellotape socks to his face, put his trousers on his arms, tie a shirt round his waist and stand in a hat.
That's quite eccentric, but is it really grounds for divorce?
Yes, he never asked if he could borrow my clothes.
At this point, Beryl told us that Frankie Fuznuts was also becoming traumatised and that she'd have to carry on the interview via the medium of a gardening glove.
I'd say it was a personality clash, except he didn't have a personality.
If you're struggling to come to terms with a relationship finishing, there's nothing better than talking it over with a friend. In this next scene, volunteer counsellors Jar Jar and Osmeroid reconstruct a typical post-relationship heart-to-heart. So, what do you think were the main issues that led to the breakdown of the relationship?
Well, the main issue was that he had a face like a horse looking in a puddle.
Really? I thought he looked more like a dog that had had his head out the window for too long.
Yeah, he did actually.
And he had that funny haircut, like he had a twat on his head.
I always said it looked like his nan cut his hair. Definitely looked like his nan dressed him.
Oh, yes. Wasn't his nan blind?
Yeah, blind and dead.
The last thing I said to him as I walked out the door was, the Ordnance Survey phoned. Your ego's so massive they want to put it on a fucking map.
We came to the famous Lime Bar in Folkestone to speak to staff and customers about their experiences.
I think he learned his social skills from episodes of the Hare Bear Bunch.
My wife, well, she was very beautiful, very clever, wealthy, pretty, well dressed, well spoken. Amazing figure, really. But unfortunately, most of the time, she sort of smelt like a highly perfumed wildebeest. So it had to end, really.
My ex-husband was so boring, his dog died just to get away from him.
Would you be able to tell me what the main reason for the relationship ending was?
He had shrews in his pockets.
Yeah, we had a lot of arguments about domestic chores and housework.
Oh yes, research shows that it's a very common cause of conflict in the home. So did you feel he wasn't doing enough?
No, it wasn't that. He did plenty of housework. It was the deviancy that was the problem.
What do you mean?
Oh, he'd try and have sex with the washing up. When he was ironing, he'd smooth over his private parts, pretend it was an accident. Oh, I didn't realise my penis was in that sock, etc., etc.
Right.
His laundry routine was illegal in 17 countries.
Of course, the male perspective on these matters can be very different. Can you describe your first wife for me?
It was like David Blunkey to put makeup on a Labrador.
Could you tell me about the girlfriend you had at that time?
She had a voice like a banjo in a tumble dry.
Although honesty is key for both sides.
He looked like Jack Hargreaves' stunt double.
So, between your first and second marriages, were there any relationships at that time?
Well, it was a short fling, really. He was a rock and roll singer called Randy Saltbird. Liked to drink, got very agitated one night and got arrested.
And what were the repercussions?
I think that was his backing band.
He bought me an actual live newt as an anniversary present.
A newt? Why do you think he did that?
Labrador wouldn't fit in the box.
We're going to give the final word to Blodwin, who reveals that sometimes there's just no alternative but to end a relationship. What was the thing that finally brought the relationship to an end?
Well, the final straw was that on our 10th wedding anniversary, he took me to McDonald's.
Really? That's terrible.
Well, the really terrible thing was that he referred to it as Mackie D's.
Oh, what a cunt.